Hi, this is Vicki with Learning Home Volunteers, and welcome back to our learning session on trees and Thanksgiving. So tell me, how did your leaf crown turn out? What about that absence painting? We would love to see pictures. Please post on class tag or text us your pictures. The pictures are so inspiring for the hundreds of volunteers that work with us throughout the year in preparing each learning session. Well, this week is our last week of this session, and we are all focused on Thanksgiving. So let's get started. Well, next week, the main character in the Thanksgiving week is the turkey. So we thought it would be really fun if we added a little fine motor activity featuring turkeys. Now, I don't know if you've ever seen a wild turkey. The boy turkeys try to impress the girl turkeys by showing their amazing tail feathers, like we're seeing here. So we thought we could create the same kind of effect using paper clips. The object of this learning activity is to attach the paper clips to our cardboard turkey. This is really tricky for their little hands. So if your learner is having difficulty getting the clips on, hold the turkey so that they can use both hands. Well, activity number 10. Well, another featured item in the Thanksgiving feast is pumpkin pie. Well, this pie is not going to be quite as sweet as the real deal, but we can learn our letters with it. In your box, you're going to find a piece of paper that has letters on a pie, like what we see here, and a bunch of stickers. Now, before you pass the activity to the child, you'll want to write letters on your stickers. The idea is that the child will find the corresponding letter on the pie and then cover it with a sticker. You can also make the activity a little bit more challenging by having stickers that have letters in the opposite case. So if your pie has uppercase letters, you can write your letters in lowercase. Now, I personally like this activity because, well, I like stickers. And the good news is that most of our learners also love stickers, so I bet they'll like this activity too. Well, this is activity 11. It is our letter game. And what better game to do than a game that involves a tree and letters? I don't know if you've read the Chicka Chicka Boom Boom book. The book is written by Bill Martin and John Abercroft and illustrated by Lois Eckhart, which is the author and illustrator of the first book that we have in this learning session. The story is about a set of lowercase letters that decide to climb a coconut tree. But as more letters get to the top, the tree begins to lean. And I bet you can guess what happens. So we've created our own game that has an alphabet as its pathway to the top of the tree. And the way that you play is you start at the start, obviously, and then you roll a dice. Um, well, I'm sorry, let me back up a little bit. So the way that you play is you pick the three magnetic letters which are included in there, and then you put them at the start of the bottom of the tree. You roll a dice, and then you move one of the letters up this corresponding number of spaces. And as you move through the letters, as you're moving, you call them out. So like if this is my first roll and I rolled 3, I'd say A, B, C, and then I'm landed on C. Kind of a cool thing about the game is if your letter happens to be the letter C, okay, in other words, it landed on its match, you get to go all the way up to the top of the tree in one big group, which is super fun. Now, the goal is to get all three of your letters to the top, where you get to say chicka chicka boom boom, which makes all of the letters go back to the start for another round of play. Well, our last activity is activity number 12, place cards. Now, place cards are used on the Thanksgiving table to let people know where they actually should sit. Now, most of our Thanksgiving celebrations are going to be small, my husband and I. And you can imagine that we probably already know where we're going to be sitting. But we couldn't let this opportunity pass to allow your little one to learn how to write people's names. So in your box, you're going to find some colored index cards, and this learning task is to give your child the opportunity to write the names of some of their favorite people. I would suggest writing the names out in big letters on a piece of paper with space in between the names. And then you can have your child put their index card below what you wrote, and then they can copy that name onto an index card. Trust me, everyone is going to love sitting in the seat with their name on it, on the card. We hope you and your family have a lovely Thanksgiving. At my table, I am thankful for all the work you are doing with your children. You are amazing and inspiring. Thank you for sharing that work that you're doing with us, with your little ones. It is such a delight to see how they are changing because of you. Happy Thanksgiving.